Okay, let's start. We can have others join us. Hi, good evening, everyone. Um, Welcome to the 2026 edition of NIROW Tax Webinar. First, I would like to warmly welcome every one of you to the event. We're truly excited to see a number of people, quite a number, and you're taking your time out this weekend to learn, to grow together, and so. Basically, I like to let people know that at NIRO, our mission is not only to connect Nigerians, it's not only to connect Nigerians in the region, but also provide practical solution that kind of empowers individuals and families to thrive. And to understand taxes is an important part of settling in this environment and working and building financial stability in Canada as a whole. Um, Yet so many people, especially newcomers or first timers, so to say, have problems. Like they feel overwhelmed and they find tax very confusing. Which is why today's tax webinar is designed to be a beginner-friendly event, so that you can have the basic information you need with all the practical examples that will be given today. We'll be discussing different ways to file your taxes, including the free community tax clinic, um, like the ones offered through the programs like the Working Center and Money Matters and others. Now, the goal of this event is to break down the basics. We can walk through the step-by-step of filing if you want, and we can highlight the importance of, we can look at the importance of government benefits, so to say, and credits that you are eligible for, regardless of your status. And at the end of this webinar, I hope every one of us will feel more confident and better prepared for this tax season. Especially, I want to thank Allah Abdulkarem, our resource person, for taking out the time to share knowledge and expertise with us. We would also encourage everyone to participate actively today. You should take advantage of the live question and answer session at the end of the program. Thank you very much. Sorry, Allah, I don't know if Sue is here. Is Sue here?
Sue's here, yes.
Oh, so we have two persons here. We have Sue also from the working center, I guess. Yes, and Allah. I will just quickly run through Allah's bio. She joined the Money Matter programs at the Working Center in 2018, and as a financial outreach worker, she has spent the past 8 years working with hundreds of community members like NIROW to file their taxes and access government benefits they're entitled to. She's working alongside a dedicated team, and they support individuals and family to navigate the Canadian tax system and improve their financial well-being. Our work focuses on empowering community members with the knowledge and the tools they need to make informed financial decisions and build greater financial stability. All said and done, I'll pass the mic over to Ala Abdulkarim so we can start the session.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Kristen, for having us on NIROW community as well. So my name is Ala. I'm from the Working Center Money Matters program, and I'm so happy to have my colleague as well, Susan Collison from Money Matters program, for which I always say she's a senior member of the Money Matters program. She's actually the one who trained most of us who are still working at Money Matters program. So just to give you a basic information about what we do here at Money Matters, we work from Monday to Friday. We are located at 58 Queen Street South in downtown Kitchener. We receive people for many different issues from tax filing, but also for accessing benefits. And it's just kind of like helping people navigate the system of financial and benefit entitlement altogether, because we know that for sure this can be overwhelming for many community members, especially if you are newcomer to Canada. Of course, filing taxes and this navigation process is so overwhelming and difficult for many community members. So that's why we are so happy to be here and be able to provide such support every day, because we know the meaning of financial stability when it comes to um, uh, this big transitioning as a newcomer to Canada. So, as you mentioned, Kristen, tax filing is complicated, and you might come up with many new terms that are so complicated to you. You definitely don't know what does CRA means, what does benefit means, what is and other terms related to such as EI and other provincial and federal benefits. This webinar is simply designed to be a bigger beginner friendly, and we are trying our best to make it as simple as you can get the most out of it. Um, so um, we're going to start the webinar, but just as a reminder, just to ensure that we create enough space to answer your questions, we would appreciate if you could please note all of your answers down, your questions down, and keep them for the end of the webinar. And when it comes to the Q&A session, we will make sure to answer all of them one by one. If you could please share the slides, Kristen, I would really appreciate, so we can start the PowerPoint. No answer. Great. Thank you. So to begin with, if you can go to the next slide, we are going to start with introducing you to some of those helpful terms that you would need to understand the tax system in Canada. So Canada Revenue Agency, the CRA, which is the arm of the government that collects taxes, SIN number or SIN, or the social insurance number, which is a 9-digit number that is unique to you, and you must have the social insurance number in order to be able to work in Canada and to receive government benefits. And then what do we mean by taxpayer? Taxpayer is a resident of Canada, which is 18 years and older, and is subject to Canadian taxation laws. What do we mean by income tax return? It's a set of form filled out each year that calculates your tax amounts for the previous years. And then you might also hear about the exemption level. This is the basic amount for all of Canadian residents that increases annually, and people who earn less than this amount do not pay income tax. And then what do we mean by income tax refund and owing? So the amount of money that government owes you back, or you might owe them based on your income tax return. The notice of assessment, or an NOA, is a form that is issued to you after filing taxes by Canada Revenue Agency, which is a CRA. This is an official document. You will need it for so many purposes. For example, if you're a student and you are going to apply for OSAP each year, notice of assessment is one of those documents that you will be asked for, or for many other type of purposes. For example, if you're on a community housing, this is one of the documents that you will be asked for each year. So there is also the CCB, which is the Canada Child Benefit. It's a tax-free monthly payment made to eligible families to help them with the cost of raising children under 18 years of age, and typically come on the 20s of each month. And this amount usually split into 12 monthly payments from July to June of the benefit year. And also, you might come up with the word GST. Right now, there's a new name for it. We will get into it in our future slides, but it's the same kind of purpose of like GST and tax free. GST money is a tax free quarterly payment. Also helps individuals and families with low or modest incomes to offset all or part of the GST and HST that they pay. GST is a quarterly benefit that is issued by it's federal money, and it's paid on a quarterly base from July, October, January, and April of the benefit year. And there's also the OTB, which is the Ontario Trillium Benefit. Ontario Trillium Benefit is a refundable tax credit to assist low and modest family income. I mean, low-income families, and it combines 3 tax credits into one single payment, which is the Ontario Energy and Property Tax Credit, the Ontario Sales Tax Credit, and the Northern Ontario Energy Credit. And this amount split into 12 monthly payments from July to June of a benefit year, and typically issued in the 10th of the month. So next slide, please. So preparing for filing income tax, now we covered some of those terms that you will hear about them more and more as you prepare for filing taxes. But this step is we always say is the hardest part of it. Why? Because you, as a person who lives in Canada, you are the person who is responsible of filing your income tax and preparing for all the paperwork that you might need for filing. Which is often it's the hardest part. So it's your responsibility, as I mentioned, to handle your taxes and collect and organize and also keep safe all of your information and documents that you will need to file to go on your taxes when you file them. So what information you typically would need is your SIN, the social insurance number, and also your legal name as it matches the CRA record. The spelling here is really important, so that's why we say it's very important to file your income tax using the social insurance number and also the record that matches your social insurance number. You will also need to prepare for the mailing address that you would choose to display it on your tax paperwork, because this is going to be your communication method with the CRA, and this is how CRA will mail you a notification in the future. And you also need to pay attention to gathering all the income tax slips from all the income sources that you have had during the year that you are going to file for. And also, please make sure to collect all the receipts for eligible expenses, such as rent receipt or medical expenses or whatever other receipts and expenses that you believe it should go on your taxes, and it's allowed by the CRA to be claimed on your taxes. So if you are going to file in taxes, please make sure that or be assured that electronic copies of your paperwork are also acceptable. So if you come to the working center, let's say to file your income tax, and you have your electronic version of your T4 slips or expenses, it's also acceptable. So there is one important piece of information that you need to pay attention to, which is the due date. So each year, the due date of filing taxes is the April 30th. So meaning that the due date for filing the income tax of last year for the 2025 is going to be the April 30th of 2026. If you choose to file your income tax at a later date, then please expect any interruptions in your benefit payments when it's July. So that's why we always encourage people to remember to file income taxes by the due date or prior to that, not only for the benefit purposes, but also if you are expecting that based on your own calculation, you believe that you're going to end up owing money to CRA, then it's better for you to file your income tax by the due date. Otherwise, you will end up paying fee or extra charge on your balance owing to the CRA. Next one, please. So when it comes to the tax filing, it's for sure whatever sources of income that you have had during the year, there should be an income tax slips dedicated to that source of income. So make sure when you are filing taxes, make sure that you have an like a specific tax slip for each of those income sources for that year. So income tax slips information, of course, for each sources, there should be a different types of slips. For example, if you work, there should be a T4 slip, or if you received social assistance, there should be a different tax slips. We will cover those tax slips differences in our future slides, but just make sure that slips are created each year by your employer or the organization that is giving you the income, and always make sure that the income provider, the company that you worked for is required by law to give you a copy of the tax slip by the end of the February, mostly. And also, if for some reason you did not receive a copy of the tax slip, then CRA should have a copy of that tax slip for you on file, because employers are also required by law to share a copy of it with a CRA, with the Canada Revenue Agency. So I'm trying to get you familiar with those words as I go. That's why I keep saying both words, CRA and Canada Revenue Agency, which is a tax center. And so whatever tax documentation and tax slips that you have usually consists of many sensitive information, such as your social insurance number, your name, your address, and stuff like that. So it's very important for you to remember that this is to keep it safe in a private place, and do not share it with others, or do not just throw it away or put it into the garbage without shredding it in properly. Because imagine if your personal information has been stolen, one can do whatever they want to with this much information that you are just simply sharing it easily with them. So it's very important for you to remember to keep your information in a safe place. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned earlier, each income source should come up with a different tax slips that is unique to that income source. So for example, if you worked in Canada, then there should be a T4 slip, which is the one that you can see on the top right corner. And then if you received income from social assistance, such as Ontario Works or Ontario Disability Support Program, OW or ODSP, then there should be a special tax slip for that, which is T5007 slip. Or if you received employment insurance, then there should be a T4E slip. And then if you received income or scholarships or bursaries, or you worked as a business or you worked as a subcontracting job, then there should be a T4A slip for that. Or if you are a pensioner or someone with a disability who received Canada Pension Plan disability benefit, then there should be a T4AP slip. Or if you are a pensioner with old age security, then there should be a T4A OAS slip for that. If you are a student and you pay tuition towards your schooling, then there should be a T2202A slip. Please remember that this slip usually is not accessible automatically through your CRA account, or CRA might not have it directly, and you may need to go back to your student portal in order to be able to access your T2202A slip. Claiming this T2202A slip is very important, as it will give you some credits and will get some relief on lowering down the amount of taxable income that you may need to pay to the tax center. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so this is just to give you some basic information about the deductions and credits, but in our future slides, we'll give you a better idea about how these two would works. But just for you to know that deductions simply meant deductions and credits are created and meant as a way for the government to encourage behavior. They work by reducing the amount of tax you have to pay, and this often means more money in your pocket. So, for example, we sometimes, when we file income tax for people and they end up having a refund, then they will ask us where this large money of refund is coming. We're gonna tell them that, oh, it looks like you over contributed towards the CPP, or it looks like you over contributed towards employment insurance. That's why you are getting some of this money back as a refund for yourself. Um, and um, uh, and these kind of deductions and credit can be both federal or provincial tax that has been deducted at a source earlier. You may need to go back. Yes. No. Two more. So deduction, as I said, it is the amount of money that's been deducted out of your income source initially. For example, if you are working in Canada and you're receiving pay stub, on your pay stub, you would receive some different deductions. There's a deduction for EI, there's deduction for Canada Pension Plan, there's a deduction for the federal income tax or provincial income tax. Those deductions are designed by the tax center by law, and this will by the end when it's tax filing, this will decide how much money you should be eligible for as a refund, or you should pay it back to the tax center as a balance owing. At the same time, credits acts like a cushion or a threshold. So, for example, if you are the one with a disability and is eligible for the Canada Disability Tax Credit, this credit will help you to lower down the amount of taxes that you should pay to the tax center. Next slide, please. So, what do you get credit for? by filing taxes, you would get the credit for many different things. For example, if you are common, if you are, you would get a credit for basic personal amount, which is the federal amount, and then the provincial amount. This amount is different each year. For example, for the year 2025 tax return, the federal basic amount each is $16,452, while for the Ontario basic personal amount is $12,989, meaning that your taxable income is not it is designed by this much personal amount that you need to pay. And then you would get a credit for spouse and common law partner, and then also eligible dependent allowance. And also you would get a credit for the amount of EI contribution, CPP contribution, and other employment amount eligibility. And also the amount of tuition you paid also will give you some credits, will lower down your taxable income again. And then the amount of medical expenses that you have had during the year also will give you some credit. Again, it will lower down your taxable income. And also, if you are the one with a disability and is having a valid disability tax credit certificate, again, it will help you with lowering down the amount of taxable income. For example, this year's, if you have an eligible DTC, the disability tax credit certificate, then your tax will be reduced by $10,138. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned earlier, you might hear about different things like refund and balance owing. What does that mean for me? Having a refund, it means what? And while having balance owing, or seeing nil on my notice of assessment and stuff like that, what does that mean? So as I mentioned earlier, by the end of tax filing, you should expect receiving the notice of assessment. Notice of assessment is issued by the CRA. And when the notice of assessment is back to you, this document will tell you what is your income situation looks like, and whether if there was any changes that the Canada Revenue Agency made on your tax paperwork. So you might see on the notice of assessment, refund. Refund means simply that you paid too much at a source, and that's why you are getting the differences back. While balance owing means not enough tax was held back, and so you have to pay the differences. So when you file your income tax center will see your whole family situation. So if at your work, at your pay stop, not enough, let's say, not enough taxes being deducted towards EI or CPP or taxable federal or provincial basic amounts, then you would definitely end up having a situation where you need to pay government back some of the taxes. And you might also see the situation where it indicates nil, which means everything's balanced perfectly. You don't owe them money and they don't owe you any money back. Okay, so at the same time, there are also some refundable tax credits, so which is the Canada Workers Benefit. It's also same as GST. So if you worked in Canada, but not enough, and tax center to help those working class people who did not work enough to help them to survive with how much expensive living in Canada is, then that's why this Canada Workers Benefit is designed to help you survive living in Canada. So again, always expect to receive your notice of assessment after filing taxes. It depends how busy the CRA is, but the taxes should be should be completed within 3 weeks, and notice of assessment to arrive afterward in like about 10 business days, I would say. Next slide, please. So again, back to the benefits. So when when we encourage people to file taxes is for them to secure the benefits, right? So as I said, there are many different benefits that are designed to you, but actually you won't be able to access them if you don't file taxes. So by filing taxes, you are renewing your eligibility for any of those benefits. So again, benefits do not count as an income for next year's taxes. So whatever you receive from GST or Ontario Trillium benefit or the Canada Child Tax benefit is just a benefit. They're not counted as an income, and it will not go on your taxes. And also they're calculated based on your household situation. So again, by filing taxes, CRA will see your whole situation, and they will see your combined wall income. For example, if you have a partner, then they will calculate the amount of eligibility based on your whole situation as single mom with 2 kids, or let's say as a partner with 2 kids, and combined income as well will be considered. So benefit payments have their own schedules. So start in July and continue until the next June. So let's say the benefit year, the benefits programs based on the tax year 2025 that you should file by April 30th of this year is going to start in July 2026 and will continue all the way until June 2027. And then next year, by April 30, you should have filed your 2026 income tax so you can continue receiving benefits when it's July 2027. Next one, please. So again, it's just a reminder for you that by filing taxes, you're going to secure 3 main types of benefits for yourself and for your family. So there is a newly introduced benefit, which is the Canada Grocery Essential Benefit. Previously, it was a GST and HST credit. So again, the same purpose, offering larger inflation index quarterly payments to help low and modest income families. And this is federal money. It will come on a quarterly base 4 times per the year, which is July, October, January, and April of each year. And then we have the Ontario Trillium benefit, which is 2-part, the Ontario Tax Sales Credit, and then we have the Ontario Energy and Property Tax Credit. So always remember, in order for you to be eligible for the second portion of the Ontario Trillium benefit, then you should have claimed rent on your income tax. Not claiming rent, then your income may make you eligible for the first portion of it, which is Ontario sales tax credit only. Then there's also the Canada Child benefit, which is this one is the combined federal and provincial, and usually given to the mom. And also it's paid in the 20s of each month. Next one, please. So now there might be a question from you that how do I file? Okay, I am ready, but how do I file? Where should I go to file my income tax? So to file your income tax, there are different ways. You can choose to go to an accountant's and tax services providers such as H&R Block and other places. Um, but also it's good for handling the complicated tax situations, but also remember that going there is associated with a high fee charge. So get ready for that. Or you can also, you might consider filing taxes through the community volunteer income tax clinics, such as the Working Center, let's say, that can help low-income households and simple tax situations. So let's say if you choose to come to the Working Center, then please pay attention to the following things, because we as a CVITP, which is a community voluntary income tax clinic provider, we have some regulation that we need to follow, which means we cannot help tax situations when it comes to the bankruptcies or business rental income or expenses, or self-employed individuals employment expenses, or when it comes to the capital gains and losses. Also, we also have a income threshold. As you can see in this table, you can see that the income threshold goes all the way from one person up to 40,000 to 5% up to 70,000, with an extra $5,000 for each additional person. So you can also choose to file your income tax on your own, which we are going to cover it in our next slide, please. So if you choose to file your income tax on your own, then you can always go back to the CRA's website, because usually every year they introduce people to the certified software and secured links that they can access to file their income tax. If you choose to do it that way, then it's a TurboTax or UFile or H&R Block. These ones are the certified ones, but as I said, you might need to pay towards filing taxes with them. Or you can choose to access some of the different softwares to file your income tax, such as like right now, the recommended one is a Wealthsimple Tax, formerly Simple Tax. The good thing about this software is that it's free and relatively easy to use, and has good help and explanation section. And also the other good thing about it is that you don't have to download it. You might need to create or sign up for an account, but you don't need to download the software itself. And this software is created or made by Canada. And also, again, once you filed, you will receive your notice of assessment after e-filing, which is the electronic filing. Next slide, please. So many of you who filed income tax for 1 year, at least in Canada, or if you are going to file your income tax this year, then you should be able to access your CRA. My account. So CRA My Account is the online portal personal account with the CRA. So by creating or by registering for this account, you will have access to your tax information, your profile with the CRA, and this way you can have access to updating whatever information you would like to update with the CRA. For example, if you recently moved and you would like to update your mailing address or home address with the CRA, you can do it that way. If you choose to provide your bank information for the direct deposit purposes or have it updated, you can also modify it that way. Or if you want to apply for some of those benefits, such as the Canada Child Benefit, it's a way for doing that. Or if you wanted to access your notice of assessment or your tax slips information, you can also get back to that account in order to access those pieces. And also it's good to have that account because instead of receiving the paper copy, you can always choose to sign up for electronic notification. Or if your tax has been audited and you've been requested by CRA to submit some of the documentation, you can also get back to your account to have those documents submitted to the CRA, and this way you're gonna expedite the process of processing your paperwork much faster. And also please note that having the CRA My Account is not a way for filing taxes. You can fix a mistake by submitting a T1 adjustment or making an adjustment through having that account, but it's not a way for filing income tax. Okay, next one, please. So filing income tax, back to the situation that we understand that right now we might have many of you who are newcomer to Canada, maybe have never filed taxes before. You might be the one who entered Canada by the end of the year 2025, and this is going to be your very first year to file income tax. So this slide is very important for you to remember because when it comes to the tax filing, the province of residence is very important, as well as the marital status. So on December 31st, 2025, what province you were resided at is very important to remember, and as well as what was your marital status. It's very important to provide that information because by the end, CRA will calculate the amount of eligibility for any benefits and tax credits based on your marital status situation. And also, if you are a newcomer to Canada during the year 2025, it's very important to indicate the date of your arrival to Canada, and as well as amount of income earned before coming to Canada. By world income, we don't mean the income earned while during your residency in Canada. We simply meaning income earned before coming to Canada from the beginning of the year to the date of your arrival. So, for example, if you entered Canada in May 1st, 2025, then your income from January 1st to May 1st, 2025 is needed to file your first time, your first tax in Canada. And also, when we ask you about whether if you are a Canadian citizen, it's not just because you don't need to file your income tax. It's just for the purposes of receiving the invitation for voting in Canada, because as a Canadian citizen, you have a right to vote in Canada. And also there is one specific situation that you need to pay attention to. If you are filing tax in Canada and you own a foreign property which was 100,000 Canadian dollars, then in this case, we cannot file your income tax as a community voluntary income tax clinic service providers because of that CRA regulation criteria. Next slide, please. So right now we are at the end of the webinar, just to remind you, both my colleague Susan Collison and I, we are ready and happy to answer all of your questions. Please feel free to either put them into the chat section, or if Kristen allows for, you can just unmute yourself and ask your questions if you have any.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Yes. Is there any question? Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Allah, for that session. I have like 3 questions. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
I want to know if I had a former employer and I wasn't sent my tax slips because I don't work there anymore, and I'm yet to have a CRA account because I'm also a newcomer. What do I do then? How do I get my tax slips? Oh, okay, that's one. Then 2, the receipts that you mentioned, I want to know what they include. Does it include grocery shopping or transit receipts, or then also, when I know that for rent receipts, is not all rent receipts that should be filed. I want to know when you can file your rent receipts and when you should not or you cannot. Also, can you please just explain more about the deductible and credits? Also, I want to ask if the medical expenses you mentioned is just for major medical services, or is any medical expense at all? And the second part of the Ontario Trillium benefits, I didn't get that. Can you please explain again? Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, Tayo, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your questions, Tayo. Those are all good questions. Just to begin with your tax slips and difficulty in accessing it because you're no longer with that employer. The tax slip, like right now, CRA, especially because I understand, I believe that you're a first-time filer, right? You have never filed taxes before.
Yes, this is my first time.
Right. Okay. So in this case, you won't be able to access your tax slip because simply if you, let's say, if you phone CRA, they don't have an account established for you right now. So it will be difficult for you to reach out to CRA directly and and request a tax slip in this case, because simply they cannot identify you. And let's say if that's not the case, even again, CRA has changed their way of working right now. They would like to encourage everyone to reach out to their employer and access the tax slip that way. But in your case, because you're experiencing such difficulty in accessing your tax slips, please reach out to us, to the Working Center. There might be other way for us to be able to help you with that. So to answer your questions about receipts and what kind of receipts you can claim it. Groceries and this kind of stuff definitely is not something that you can claim it on your taxes. By receipts, we say like medical expenses, such as medical expenses, or for example, if daycare for your kids, and other kind of expenses that if you go on the CRA website, you might get a better explanation about what kind of expenses you can claim on your income tax. But when it comes to the rent receipt, if you lived in Ontario and you rented a property for the purpose of living, not for the purposes of vacation, such as Airbnb and stuff like that. This is, of course, it's not going to be claimable as a rent receipt. We say rent receipt for purposes of living in Ontario. So if that's the case, then you can claim the amount of rent paid at the property that you rented during the year 2025. And keep in mind, if you lived at multiple addresses during that year, you can claim the amount of rent paid at each property. So I'll leave the deductible and credit question for my coworker Sue to get back to you in a bit. But in terms of whether if any medical expenses can go on your tax or not, I would just say go back to the CRA website just to get a better direction, because definitely not each medical expenses is eligible for claiming or to go on your income tax return. For the other final question about the OTB, the second portion, again, this is related to the amount of rent you paid in Canada. So if you, let's say, if you did not pay any rent in Canada, in Ontario, sorry, not in Canada, specifically in Ontario, if you did not pay any rent in Ontario during the year 2025, your income only might make you eligible for the first portion, but not for the second portion. Because as I mentioned earlier, the second portion will be only generated if you actually contributed towards paying rent in Ontario during the year 2025. So I hope that I was clear, but feel free to reach out to us directly as well if you have any other questions. Sue, it's back to you. You are muted, Sue. You might just need to unmute yourself.
Okay, finally I got myself unmuted. So you were asking about the deductions, is that correct?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so when we're looking at deductions, one would be if you're a senior, and bus passes, that would be one. Alla did touch on the medical earlier. In the medical one, it's like if you have to pay to go to a doctor, if you have to pay to go to, like if you're going to a chiropractor, anything like that, if you pay for a prescription, the part that you pay on your own, you can deduct, okay? But it's not like going into a pharmacy and I buy some Tylenol. I can't claim that because that's not a prescription, okay? We're talking personal exemption, so that's not the same as a business. So there's not like Alla pretty much touched on most of them in her conversation there earlier. Yeah.
Thank you, Sue. And again, please feel free to reach out to us. We love questions. We would like to answer your questions. Please always remember that we are here for you. Like we understand that this can be so complicated for many of you. So that's why we are here. Please feel free to ask your questions. If not today, then Christian will be able to share our contact information and feel free to reach out.
And I think it's what I'm thinking of, that it's very important to reach out when you have the question and not just go ahead and get your taxes filed. If you have a question, reach out, because then we can make sure that there's no errors made and that you know exactly what you're doing and that we can help you before anybody makes a mistake or anything like that. So we welcome you understanding taxes here in Canada, and that's what we want to make sure that happens, is that when you go and do your income tax, you understand and are making some informed decisions.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Any other question?
Hello.
Dorothy, yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much for this presentation.
You're welcome.
It's really a huge insight for we newcomers here. Yeah, my question is, you talked about filing for tax before registering or creating accounts with CRA, right?
Right.
So my question now is, after we file for tax, at what point can we go ahead to create this account?
Mhm.
That's my
That's a good
question.
question.
Yeah. So do you want to go ahead?
Yeah, so Ala talked earlier about when you get your notice of assessment. That's so important because that has the information that you need that will help you to open your CRA account. If you have difficulty opening your CRA account, you can come to the working center and we can help you. But it's on that notice of assessment, they're going to ask a line number, okay? So that's the time when you get your notice of assessment. At that time, then you're able to create your My CRA account.
Oh,
And also,
perfect.
just to
Thank
add
you.
on that, the receiving the notice of assessment is such a good indicator that your tax has been filed and processed. So when you come to the working center, I do your income tax and I will give you back a confirmation that your tax has been filed and it's been received by the CRA. This is not necessarily meaning that your tax has been processed right away. So when you are a first-time filer in Canada, it's very important to wait until the tax has been processed by the CRA, an account is established, and the notice of assessment is being sent to you. So when you receive the notice of assessment by mail, as I mentioned, is a good indicator that your tax account is ready right now, and you should be able to register for one.
Okay.
And
Thank you very
also,
much.
I would point out that you may have a husband and wife filing. One may receive their notice of assessment a month or two ahead of the other one. That only happens the year that you're coming to Canada because they're accessing a lot of your other immigration, like some of the other files type of thing to make sure everything is like matching up a type of thing. So you won't always like get two people in the same family that will receive their notice of assessments at the same time because sometimes it'll take longer to process for one person.
Yeah.
Oh,
And also, Sue, you just mentioned one thing that triggered me. I wanted to mention about when you are, let's say, you have a partner, because some people they think that if one can register for an account, then that's it because we are partners, we are spouses, we don't need to register both of us. That's not the case. When it comes to the CRA My account, you each are treated as an individual person and you need to register for an account separately. So now when it comes to the registration, it might be helpful for you to get ready. It's not just a notice of assessment itself, but also you might need to have a direct access to your account. If that's the need for you, then you may need to pay attention that in order for you to have a full access to your account, you may need to have a Canadian passport or the provincial photocard ID or the driver license. In case if you don't have access to any of those, because you can access the document verification process only by having one of those piece of IDs. In case if you don't have access to any of those, then the other option for you is to request the security code to be mailed to you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, so to answer your question, you are a student and you came to Canada last September. Of course, you're definitely welcome to come to the working center. Again, our address is 58 Queen Street South, downtown Kitchener. Feel free to reach out and come in person. We are happy to answer your questions and support you through filing your first income tax return in Canada.
And also, Adewonye, NIROW is in a conversation with the working center to join the community of volunteers, so that we can have some of our people coming to get help with filing their taxes at the working center. Hopefully after this event, we can continue the conversation and pick out a day where members of our community can go over to the working center and get help with filing taxes.
Yep, sure. So this is something that you need to reach out to Amaria in order to arrange for that. But we are happy to see you on board.
Are there any other questions? Please ask your questions now. Yes. Also, I was asking a question earlier. Someone sent me this message, and she said, can someone file for their taxes if they missed the previous year?
Yes, absolutely. They can still file taxes. And it's even important to file those outstanding ones as well, because there might be some extra or additional tax credits and benefits that they would be eligible for to be able to access. But as I said, filing taxes is a one way of accessing your eligible tax credits and benefits. Of course, if you don't do them, if you don't file your income tax, you won't be able to access them. So we always encourage to file your income tax. So we always say that the due date is the April 30th. But here at the Working Center at Money Matters program, we do taxes year round. We do taxes for the prior years as well.
I was just going to add that some people think, oh, well, I was only there 2 or 3 days of last year, so I won't file the taxes. But it's really important to get those taxes done, because on that year, we're bringing you into the country. And it can confuse Revenue Canada if you don't do that initial year. Okay. So it's really like when somebody comes in and they say to me, I'll say, well, what year did you come? And they may say, well, December 30 or December 28th, 2024. Well, my answer is, let's get 2024 done and we'll do your 2025. And I think it helps Revenue Canada figure out your pattern when you came and everything like that. So, and there is some money attached too. So it's important to get that. I say, don't leave any money on the table. If it's money that you're owed, then you do your taxes. And we'll sit down and we'll do that year, even though you were only here for 2 years and you didn't make any money and you didn't pay any rent. It's still important to do that year.
Oh, thank you very much, Sue. You just asked another question someone sent me. She said she came in halfway through last year, and she's wondering if it's all right for her to file her taxes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions in the house, please? Yes, Ella, please go ahead.
Just to add on that, like if you, because there's some confusion around tax filing, some they believe that the fact that they came to Canada at the very end of the year, let's say December 28th, then they don't need to file their income tax. We always say, if you entered Canada on December 31st at 11/59/2025, you still need to file your income tax for the 2025. So I hope that this is clear. And also, even if you did not make any income in 2025, you still need to file your income tax as zero income. So there are situations where husband work and wife is not working. Husband believe that he's the one who worked in Canada and he needs to file income tax only, and wife doesn't need to file taxes because she did not work. Again, this is not true. Both of you need to file your income tax. You're married and you're living in a common law partnership situation. Your combined income is needed for CRA for them to be able to calculate your eligibilities for the benefits.
I was also thinking about children over 19, Ella, where they're in school and they're not earning an income, but still our benefit system is based on doing income tax. So it's important if you have a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old, even if they're not working, they should do their taxes so they get the benefits that come back to them.
Exactly. So we are hoping that we will be able to cover more about your eligibilities for some of those benefits, such as the CCB, for example, because this is when the immigration status involved for you to be able to access them. But we are hoping to be able to cover this in our future, maybe webinars with you. We don't want to overwhelm you with much information, because as we mentioned earlier, it's the tax season right now, and we want you to understand some of those pieces that will be helpful for you to know about it, because we want you to be able to get ready for tax filing and get your taxes done for the very first time. Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, can I ask my question?
Yes,
Yes,
sure.
please.
My question is on the tax, the rent. So I don't think I didn't hear clearly, or that I need some clarity on what exactly are you filing when it comes to the rent. Is there a particular receipt, or it's your rent, you're gonna get it from the landlord, or is there a particular document? What's the name of the document that you're gonna be providing for the rent aspect of the tax? Am I filing my tax to show my rent? Or what exactly does how is rent involved in the tax filing? Like a home you're living in, your residence. Because I heard something about the residence, and I heard something about maybe a rented space, maybe like Airbnb. I just need clarity on which one you're filing tax for.
Do you want to go ahead, Sue, or?
Sure. On rent, that is how much you pay to your landlord every month for the place that you're living at. Okay. So if I'm paying 1,015 and I paid that I was here for 8 months, it'll be 1,015 times 8 months. Now, when you come to the working center, we are not going to ask you for a receipt. We are going to claim that amount, but always remember that CRA can ask you to back up things with receipts. So what I suggest to people is make sure that your landlord is giving you a receipt every month when you receive that money, or when they receive that money, because sometimes they do pull audits, okay? So you want to be able to clarify exactly, or prove to CRA exactly how much you paid for rent that year.
Okay, so for the rent, if you get something like, so a receipt is a valid document to show proof of
Yeah,
rent.
it would be from your landlord with your landlord's name, your
Yeah.
name, and the unit. Like, I mean, if I'm at Unit 5, Frobisher Ave, Kitchener, or whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so from how it looks, is filing your rent important? What exactly is it for you to get tax returns, or what exactly is it for you to reduce your
Okay.
income tax?
No. So Ala talked about the benefit, Ontario Trillium benefit,
Yeah.
and it's part of that benefit that gives you extra money back. Okay. So every month you get paid Ontario Trillium benefit. It's
Yes. Okay.
and there's Ontario sales tax is one portion, and the property, what is that called, Ella?
Energy, property,
Property
energy
and
tax.
energy is the other part. So it gives you extra money back monthly.
Okay. Last question. Should both spouses file that separately, or should
No,
just one
rent is
spouse?
being paid. So when you file taxes, only one of the partners can claim the rent. Okay, like you
Okay.
can't claim rent
Clear.
twice. You just make sure that it is on your taxes. One of the partners.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
And
All right.
you can't claim, like, if your hydro is included in the rent, that's fine, but you can't add the hydro to the rent.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that's if it's on a separate bill,
Yeah.
a separate bill. So it's
Yeah, that's
whatever it's
not
on the
one that we
rent
can
bill that
claim. Yeah.
you're claiming.
We'd love to claim it, but we can't.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So it's just to make sure the landlord gives you that receipt and you're good. Thank you.
So also I wanted to invite you to reach out, because it's a tax season. It's an opportunity for you to navigate more into what else you can access. For example, if you are low income and you might meet the eligibility criteria of accessing some of other programs that are designed for you, it's an opportunity for you to do that. Because let's say if you are living in Canada, in Ontario, and you're low income, you might be eligible for accessing, let's say, help with Ontario electricity support program with your hydro bill. So that's why we always want to invite you to reach out to the Working Center, to Money Matters, to see what else you can access to help you live in Canada, in Ontario.
Yeah, Jacinta has her hand raised. Please unmute.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for the presentation. So I want to ask, how many months receipts are we supposed to get from the landlord for the filing of tax?
Mhm. So it's not about how many receipts. If your employer can just give you one simple letter saying that I'm confirming that this person lived at this address during the year 2025 for this many months, and this is so much of rent I received from this person, this is enough. And this is accepted as a proof of rent paid in Ontario for that specific property. So, but at the same time, if you are the one who is receiving a confirmation of rent receipt each month from your landlord, then you can just collect whatever you receive from them each month, add it up, and then bring it in when you come to file your income tax. As I said, when you come to the Working Center to file your income tax, we never ask for a proof. We trust your word. But at the same time, we want to give you a heads up to get ready in case if CRA asks later for any way to prove it.
Do we have any other
Thank you.
questions?
I have another
Okay.
question, sorry. What time can we come to the Working Center?
So do you want to go ahead?
On that one, so our tax clinic is open from 9 to 4 every day. Is that correct, Ella?
That's right.
Yeah, to the end of April 30th. Yeah. So every day, Monday to Friday, not on weekends, and 9 to 4.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Any other questions?
Do we have any other questions? Oh. Okay. Before we conclude today's session, I would want to sincerely appreciate Ala and Sue for allowing us to draw from their pool of wealth and guiding us through all this important topic. This is a very important topic, and the presentation has helped us better understand how taxes work in Canada. And while taxes is important, while filing taxes each year is very important, I would want to appreciate everyone that joined us in this session today, but the ones that are still here and the ones that have gone. We do appreciate you taking your time out to participate in the webinar and learn with me about taxes, the benefits, the credits, and the resources that are available to you. And we hope the information that was shared today will help you and make you feel more confident, like when you're preparing for your taxes. But again, if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask me through the WhatsApp thread you got, or through email. Like if I can't answer them, I can always forward them to Sue or Ala. Thank you very much for coming today. It seems Sue would be ending the meeting now. Sue, thank you very, very much for taking your time out to come today.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. I've
Thank you
really
so
enjoyed
much.
it.
Thank you.
You so much for having us, and it was an amazing opportunity and such a pleasure for meeting you this way.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. So again, I ask if you have any question, please reach out to me. Please send me an email or send me a WhatsApp message. I would always send those to Sue and the team and get back to you. Thank you very much for coming today. We have come to the end of our session today.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.